You'll just have to like lean in when it comes time for like yes, we'll have to do that. So, that's fine.
Female representation.
Yeah, well, you know, Jennifer, female representation. I wasn't thinking of just your boobs when I was talking about the fact that we needed to have more women presentation in the game.
You sure?
I'm quite certain I meant for a complete presence, not just. Hi guys. Jennifer didn't play tonight because I told her I really wanted to have at least one woman participate in one of these games.
One of them.
And then she's decided, you know, she's going to sit and just wait so that just her boobs are on camera. And I'm like,
okay,
that's.
You know what? I didn't decide that explicitly. It's
you just kind of went with it.
That's how logistics worked out, and it was funny.
It was funny.
It
yes.
was funny.
Move your feminine wiles and all that.
Do what?
Feminine wiles and all that.
Oh yeah, well.
Right, exactly.
So while we're at it, let's go ahead and figure out who you guys are planning on playing, so I can kind of plan ahead.
I'm playing Talon.
You're playing Talon. What's Talon's edge?
It is 12.
Okay. Gregory, you still playing DARKWOLF?
I'll stick with what I know. DARKWOLF, yeah.
And what's DARKWOLF's?
Edge.
20.
All right. And what's
20.
What's STORMRIDER's?
10.
Okay.
Am I allowed to derail the game like I did the last one?
No. You're never allowed. Stop it. Just never again.
If you want female representation, it makes sense for me to be clever.
You know you're expected to play the character and play the game. So, yes.
I'm just saying.
You're just saying.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Who else are we waiting?
We are waiting on... I don't know if David Alexander is going to make it or not. That's our British friend who pops in. Frequently, he sounds like he's either just giddily excited to be there or possibly intoxicated, likely both.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it is late in England, and
very late in England.
But by that point, you know, that's a thing they do. You guys will note that in honor of the impending Endgame release, I've gone back to the Tony Stark.
I don't think they care. Or, you know,
they probably don't care.
You know.
Do you want me to say ooh sexy, or I don't know what you want me to say?
No, I don't want you to say anything.
That is, in fact, exactly what he was waiting for.
Forget it. Don't say a thing.
Thank you for recognizing he was waiting for ooh sexy.
I just, never mind.
Look on the bright side, at least you can grow one. Some of us, this is the best we can do.
I don't know. You've got that full frontal going on pretty well.
Wanted a goatee, but I can't pull the Tony Stark thing.
Oh, see, I'm showing up way more on that video. Even though there's a delay.
Try not to cause an avalanche.
I keep forgetting that now that I'm live, it's actually recording. So people who are watching this later are going to be like, "What's all with the dead?" So I should probably like say stuff like, "Could you send an invite to the Gmail for saying?" Oh, God. I sent it to you in Facebook, Len. You're such a diva. Mike, the lead designer is a diva. I just want to say that.
And he's my favorite Cubano.
Okay. Set that
So
live.
we found out recently that he was a dancer too, and that's really exciting. That made me unreasonably happy.
All right. So Len has had the link sent to him. You guys are on. Jennifer's playing from here. And we have crossed the 26,000 line.
What?
So that's good. That is excellent.
Lynn
So
hasn't
you got
replied
5 more
back
days
to our
get
message.
28?
Hold on. You guys talked all over each other. Brett first.
I said Lynn hasn't
You first.
responded to our message.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
so-
he texted me because he's a diva and he wasn't checking Facebook, so I had to send it to him separately.
No, I mean our message yesterday about what I said that I was doing.
Oh, well, he's going to be on right there, as a matter of
Yep.
fact. He appeared on
Right
screen.
there. Yay!
Guess who's here, Len?
Hello. Sorry, I'm being my diva self.
Yes, you are being your diva self. Ah, so you caught me saying
That
that.
hair flip was
Let's get it straight. I'm a Luddite, not a diva. There's a difference.
Okay, there he is.
Semantics.
Greg said something
Thank you
in
very
there.
much.
What were you saying, Greg?
So you guys have got how many more days to hit 28?
5 days to go. Well, it says 5 days, but I mean, today's Tuesday, so really I don't know why it says that because this thing officially ends at 10 a.m. Tuesday morning of next week. So it's kind of a weird calculation there, but
Gotcha.
I mean, I think so.
Well, I hope you guys make it.
Well, we're feeling pretty confident. By the way, Len, did you give consideration to because Brett just informed me that he has acquired that bonus he was talking about.
I think I know what you're talking about, and I think we'll get that covered. I haven't changed anything in the system yet.
Okay, so we'll get back to that on the other side, but
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that was a thing. Which, by the way, interestingly enough, that depending on how things go, that might help cover that other thing we were talking about.
All right.
with the thing and the other thing and the stuff.
And the bits.
All the stuff and junk.
And
And the
bits.
stuff and
All right. So, Len, you're not actually going to play today, are you?
No. Is this wait a minute, let me ask you a question. Is tonight a game or is tonight a whatchamacallit? A Q&A. Tonight's a game, you know what? Then I'm gonna pop in here to say hello and then I'll pop out and let you guys play.
Len, I think you should play. Come play with us.
I would love to, except for the fact that I may not be able to make it through the whole thing. But I can play
It's
for
an
a little
hour.
bit. And
Deal with
Wait
it.
for as long as you can.
All right. So you could totally play for a little bit. If you're going to play, who do you want to play tonight?
I will play whoever is left over after everyone else gets to pick.
Brett is playing Talon. Gregory is playing DARKWOLF, and she is playing STORMRIDER from the Unconventionals.
I like it. All right.
Who do you got on hand?
I mean, I can play any of them. I'm thinking about if there's somebody else from the game, from the book that no one else has seen yet that we could maybe play.
Okay.
But give me 1 second.
All
I
right.
got the book right here.
Sounds good.
Hey, how come you have a copy of the book?
Because he cheats.
He's a cheating.
Sorry, what?
I said, how come you already have a copy of the book?
I'm guessing something with the name recognition.
You know,
Oh no, it goes Diva. Really?
I almost wish I didn't because that means that I wrote it and I'm very tired. So let's see here. Yeah. Yeah, I think I might be Siren.
Ooh. Okay.
I like it.
And what is Siren's edge?
Siren's edge is 15.
Okay.
I'm so going last. That's okay.
All right. That covers that. Go ahead and get that stuff down and taken care of. All right. Well, we are at the 5 o'clock mark, so we've been live for a few minutes, and I don't know if anybody's paying attention over on the Facebook side of the universe. I'll go check real quick just to see.
Hey, there's 26 little eyeballs on the little eyeball logo. Does that mean there's 26 people watching?
There's 26 people watching here. Yes, that is in fact what is happening.
Hi out there in happy internet land. I'm gonna get my dice.
That covers that. All right. So I'm just. So I will. Right. Well, we are at the 5 o'clock mark, so we've been on. Sorry. There it is. So, the folks over on Facebook, I will go ahead and remind you that I'm really having to pay attention to what's going on the Kickstarter version of this. So, y'all talk amongst yourselves. I will try to catch up on any comments or questions later. But if you have like a serious, like, I really need to know what's going on kind of thing, pop on over to the Kickstarter page. The link is in the comment section, or in the introduction section over there on the Facebook side, and pop in, use the Q&A system. If the Q&A system is not working for you for some strange reason, just pop into the chat and ask there. But tonight we are playing, and we have a couple of extra special guests tonight. First off, I would like to point out that we have Jennifer Shinefeld, who is a recent addition to the official Evil Beagle team. And she is one of our editors. She is also doing some development and co-design and writing with me on the Crisis Control adventure, series of adventures, like little mini campaign, effectively. That is one of the social media stretch goals that we unlocked early on. And also, she did some major editing work on a lot of the P&PUE stuff that you guys are going to be, or that you've already seen. As a matter of fact, she did editing work on the Quick Start rules. But also, we have himself. The one she likes to call my favorite Cubano, Leonard. Len Pimentel tonight is joining to actually play tonight's adventure. Woo! All right. And Falcor is back there trying to eviscerate one of Rye's toys. Okay, so anyway. So Len is playing a character named PSIREN, who's not been released or seen in the wild yet. Because everybody else has seen like all these other characters, why don't you give us like a brief, what is it that's known about what she can do tonight?
Absolutely. She's a cop. PSIREN is a cop. She's a space cop. In fact, she's Patrol Chief Ariel Oldal of the Neridian Patrol Corps. Those of you who may if anybody saw the first edition, there was a guy named Neridian. He was kind of a goofball. This is his older sister. She's a cop. She came to Earth to kind of check out what was going on. She was shot out of the sky, or rather shot out of space, and crashed on Earth. And the Neridian Patrol Corps basically told her to stay there on Earth to find out what's going on, because there definitely seems to be something happen. She's not the only alien who was in the vicinity of Earth whose ship got shot down. So something strange may be afoot at the Circle K. So anyway, but she's a cop. Like most folks from that world, she's aquatic. She can breathe water. She's got, she can see in dim lighting thanks to her super senses. She can run a little bit faster than a normal person. She can change her hue. She's got blending, and she's got doppelganger. So she can actually change shape and take on the disguise, kind of like Mystique from the X-Men. And she's got a big gun.
Well, there it is then. So she is known to Aegis, the agency that coordinates the efforts of paranormals and gifted people within the Pinnacle City setting. And they've actually asked her to come in on a recent spate of basically trash and grab raids against museums. This is actually something that's been happening across the country. Museums that have been specializing in mythology, religion, and related subjects. So in some cases, there's just been complete trash, destruction. There has been some injuries and stuff like that. Hang on just a second, Brett. Let me get this out. But occasionally stuff has gone missing as well. And the concern is that the pattern leads people to think that this wave of attacks may be headed towards Pinnacle City. What'd you have?
So Pinnacle City, is it left vague for where it is for GMs to place wherever they want, or is there a specific part of North America that it's supposed to be in?
That's all you, Len.
It is vague, so you can put it where you want, but there is water nearby because water is helpful. So whether that water is a Great Lake or an ocean, I leave it to you. I mean, but just sort of to let you know, Pinnacle City's probably on the East Coast, sort of, squeezed in there somewhere.
Somewhere between Philadelphia and New York, perhaps, or something like that.
Just was curious because Chicago is kind of the background for my character, so wanted to make sure it wasn't gone, being replaced or anything. So,
all right. So, DARKWOLF, of course, you are often brought in to help out with various things that have been going on in Pinnacle City lately. Talon, you also occasionally are called in to help out with dealing with criminal elements and things along those lines. And STORMRIDER actually is here in this dimension. She stayed behind from the last incident that involved Apex and etc. because she sensed, due to her connection to the Gaia spirit, that something of a potentially arcane or cosmic nature may be afoot. That being the case, and again, I'm kind of running things really, really simple. It's a 1-hour demo. So what I want to know is if you guys want to try to do a bit of investigation and or possibly invoke other talents or abilities to see if you can get a sense of what the likely next target is before it gets hit. That being the case, I would imagine PSIREN's got a pretty decent investigation skill.
She does, if it's okay. I think I'd probably want to go last, like let everybody else go first and kind of bring me up at the end, I think. Okay. That's right. What is
Talon's investigation skill?
6D.
Okay. And DARKWOLF, what about you? All right,
6D.
so both of you guys are master investigators. All right, and I think STORMRIDER. No, STORMRIDER. That's not her thing.
6 as well here.
All right, so we're going to say the three of you are teaming up on that then. She's providing some additional input that could potentially be useful. But that being the case, I'm going to call that a +2 die on whoever's going to take the lead role on that. Why don't we, since DARKWOLF has been involved in all of this stuff up to now, let's let DARKWOLF take the lead on the investigation roll. So why don't you go ahead and roll investigation, but you get +2 dice because you have the help from various people involved in this situation. And
Okay.
I'm going to say that it's not really that hard, but I mean it's pretty tough. We're going to make a threshold 3 on this one.
Well, bare minimum, I've already got a 5, and I still got 2 more dice to roll.
It matters how well you do.
Okay. Add another 3
Okay.
to that.
Well, that's a ridiculously fantastic success. All right. So the Pinnacle City Museum of Antiquities and Classic Art is hosting, and is just, I mean, this hasn't even been publicly announced yet. They're just now loading it in. This was like a special release kind of thing. They've gotten in an entire like major wing of the museum is going to be dedicated to relics and artifacts of infernal and celestial import through the ages. So that is the thing, and they've actually are having a very special opening tomorrow night. That is just for like the Pinnacle City's finest, elite. It'll be black tie and what have you. When they open this up to the public. Well, actually, it won't even be open to the public yet. It'll just be open up to like major donors and high-priced people and stuff like that. So that to you seems like whoever's doing this. And since you did get as awesome as you did, by all accounts, you're pretty sure this is Reliquary, who is behind this. Reliquary is she's a mess. She's a just absolutely vicious, insidious, gleefully evil young woman who channels massive, dramatic, dark, necromantic and sorceress power. She is fond of summoning zombies. This is one of her favorite bits. She also has this.
I see what you did there.
She has this sword that is just ridiculously powerful, like dangerously crazy powerful sword. Something that you really need to be careful of. And that sword is incredibly powerful, but she's also an incredibly skilled sorceress. So you have a very, very strong suspicion that she is the one who is behind all of this. You also are able to determine, the three of you.
You're not John. Got it.
You're able to determine, the three of you, that it seems like she's hunting for something. Like all of these places where she's done like the whatever, the trash and grab, there's the sense through, as you've gone through each of the crime scenes and looked at everything, there's a sense that she's specifically searching for something and she hasn't found it yet. Yes.
Have the other museum hits, have they had something similar to the Infernal and Celestial exhibits?
Yes, in some way or another, it all seems, in each situation, it seems like it's reasonably connected. Like in some cases, it was like an exhibit about the celestial, heavenly bureaucracy of China. So it's various aspects of heaven and hell as presented across multiple religions. But it always seems to be something along those lines.
Yeah, it can't be anything but good news with the fact that a necromancer is looking for something from hell. Can't mean anything but good.
Well, I want to know what you guys want to do about this. What's your plan? DARKWOLF, since you took the lead, why don't you tell me what would DARKWOLF be? What's your instinct on how you want to approach this?
I think the best idea is to try to infiltrate the museum. Try to get in. I'm not the expert on the mystical, so I don't see any reason not to make it a broad daylight inspection. Just walk in and try to inventory what they have and what might be important, what might be valuable, what would make a good target for them.
All right. Well, Aegis will give you authority to go in and do that. Are you planning on doing that the day before then? Like today, before, since tomorrow night is the gala? All right. So you're just going to go in and try to take some sort of an inventory and kind of get a sense of what's going on. What about you, Talon? What's your plan?
Well, I definitely think that since it hasn't even been open to the public, most of the exhibits are going to be very easily, say, moved because they're still in their packaging. So I think, if anything, that would definitely be the time to make it easier for them to strike. So I kind of would like to take the whole gargoyle aspect and kind of just perch somewhere near the.
Right. So there's a main warehouse. There's a main behind the scenes warehouse space where a lot of this stuff is packaged up. So you're gonna take up posts there, while DARKWOLF is out front as stuff is being brought out. He's checking in the displays and stuff like that. Cool. SIREN, what is your plan?
Okay, so couple of quick questions. One of SIREN's contacts or connections is Detective Mary Ellen O'Malley. Okay. She's very by the book, just like I am, and so I'm going to talk to Detective Mary Ellen O'Malley, and since I'm going to see her at work, I'm calling her, even though we're best buds, I'm calling her Detective O'Malley. And are we aware of what kind of a terror Reliquary is, if we think this is her? Okay.
Yes. With the level of investigation result that you guys got, yes, you're able to look up all kinds of files on her and know that she's really awful.
All right, fantastic. So, are we, and I'll spend a resolve if I need to, are the police aware of her having any weaknesses or flaws or anything that we should be aware of that could be useful to us? God forbid she actually shows up.
Well, that's I'm gonna ask for that resolve on that.
Take it. Boom. One resolve done.
There is some speculation amongst the more occult detective-y types that sometimes are consulted with. O'Malley doesn't really know what to make of this, but she has to take all information, but as she will. She's like, well, you're from another planet, so I got to accept that strange stuff is, and if this is true, there's some sense that she's like inhabited by an evil spirit. Like, she's not a nice person anyway. But based on whoever this person is, their background, our speculation is that her real name is like Raven Abasi. That's one of the files I have on her, and that this reliquary spirit is somehow taken her over and made her more powerful and worse. The only other thing I got for you is that sword seems to be a source of a lot of her power. So if somehow someone could get the sword away from her, that would reduce her ability. It wouldn't completely neutralize her, but it might knock her down a couple of pegs.
Okay. What about specific? And are we aware of any vulnerabilities to attacks or to damage or to anything along those lines?
According to this file written by our CSI Leonard Pimentel, there doesn't seem to be any such things.
Wow, we're in trouble. Okay, so
man, I'm learning it right off of what you wrote, dude.
So then, the last thing I'm going to ask, and this may be an absurd kind of thing, but the fire suppression systems to this place, is it water?
Nope. They're using water. They're using all of the systems that are currently, considered state of the art for protecting arts and artifacts and things like that. So it's going to be the halon gas and as non-damaging a suppression systems as they can manage.
You can't really have a priest bless halon. So if it were water, I'd think it'd have the priest bless the water tanks. God forbid we put a lighter up to the thing and see what happens if it gets real bad. But not so much luck. So. In that case, I'm going to figure out, I'm going to be shapeshifted into the form of some elderly museum.
A docent.
With the folks at the museum know this.
Right.
They know that they've basically got somebody on the inside, so in case something happens, Granny McStuffins over there is actually not really Granny McStuffins. She's home watching TV. I'm covering for Granny for today.
Got it. And STORMRIDER, what are you doing?
Well, our live studio audience did come up with a good idea, considering the character of STORMRIDER, that it would make total sense for an EPA inspector to come in prior to the opening.
Okay. So you've all dressed up and guessed as a EPA inspector.
What I really want to do, and it's entirely possible that one of my other team members would be better suited to this task, assuming that this facility is going to be the target of an attack, what's the layout of the building insofar as how are they planning on getting in and out?
Well, the museum is one of those grand, it's a modern building, but it's done in a faux classical style. And so it was done like this grand cathedral / castle-esque kind of thing. And there's multiple entrances to multiple wings. There's giant bay windows. There's all kinds of potential entry points into this place. And there's giant, Louvre-style skylight across the top kind of thing would be a brilliant way to just smash your way down to what's going on below. This is a superhero battle dream or nightmare, depending on your perspective. Yes, Brett.
I'm guessing there's multiple levels to the wings too, but with a grand center area.
Yep.
And I'm probably in the dock area where everything comes in. So
there's actually multiple docks based on which wing stuff is being brought into. So you're in the dock area of the wing this exhibit is being set up.
Copy.
All right. So you're in there doing that, and you're moving around with a clipboard because clipboards always make you look important. You're crocheting, Granny?
I'm doing the little, sort of elderly volunteer thing of standing by one thing and saying hello and talking about the history of this one piece that nobody particularly cares about.
She's letting all the little kids know where the gnomes are.
Except there's no kids there. Remember, it's not this thing isn't open yet. But you're practicing.
Sure. Yeah. You know what? I'm probably talking to the real Granny McStuffins to prep me on what I need to know for the big night.
Very good. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because I'm giving you credit for making the decision to not have innocence in the space when this happens. That's the only reason I negged you on that was because you guys decided to go in now, so there's no innocence there except for a few museum employees, which I'm going to assume best practice is you've asked most of them to kind of maybe not hang around, which is good because there's a radio staticky thing, and one of the employees is like, "We got a bunch of boxes over here behind the Egypt exhibit that are rattling around. Holy crap! They're opening this!" And there's scream and there's static. Right about that same time, a door gets pounded open and crushed open, and a bunch of zombies dressed in Roman paraphernalia come, zombieing in to the dock area, groaning and sort of slowly but powerfully, waving around their gladiuses. Out in the main area, which DARKWOLF, you're out there looking over stuff, and STORMRIDER, you were like you're up on the second floor, checking out what's going on up there, and a bunch of zombies dressed like they're all dressed in tuxes and dresses, though. Like, they're zombies, but they're dressed up in gorgeous tuxes and dresses, like fresh off of a prom school rack or something. And they come in. Some of them are actually holding glasses that might be filled with champagne that they're sloshing everywhere, and they're making their way in as well. And there's this evil, cackling, echoey laugh from somewhere above. And she's like, "Oh, good. Finally a challenge. Finally something to hit that's worth hitting. Let's dance, shall we?" As the evil voice of Reliquary screams from above. And again, because I foreshadowed this, the skylight above the third floor crashes, and she comes floating down on evil, black, inky energy, and the game is on. So a Reliquary is on scene. There are, in fact, 5 groups of 8 zombies each present on scene. And then there's you guys. So that's what we have currently. The 5 groups of 8, by the way, are minions. You guys are all familiar with the minion rules. But I will describe them again just for anybody new who happens to be watching. DARKWOLF, you are first up. And again, you guys don't quite get an ambush thing because, well, she is who she is. But, she didn't get the ambush on you either. So you get to go.
I'm going to rush into the minions. Want to do 2 actions. Try to take down as many as I can on the first turn. Strike 10 dice. If I understand that's right, that's 2 rolls at 2 dice lower.
Yes, if you're going to take out 2 different groups of minions, yes. I forget, does DARKWOLF have two-fisted? Okay, no worries. All right, so the first group of minions, and they are a threat of 4D. So you get to roll your 8 dice versus these 4.
Okay. I got 4.
All right, you roll 4 over my 2. So that means 2 of those zombies go down in that group. Let's see how you do against the other group.
Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. All
right, unfortunately, you only managed to take 1 of those zombies down. So you've taken there's
gonna have to invest in some of that 250.
Do what now?
Sorry. Gonna have to invest.
250 would be a really good one for DARKWOLF to pick up at some point. Yes. All right, but still, you managed to take down some pretty tough zombies, and they're starting to all close in. You definitely have that, both of those groups of zombies' attention. Siren, you are up next.
Can I tell what Reliquary is looking for based on where she landed or where she's looking?
Right now, she's just laughing uproariously. She seems to be paying much more attention to DARKWOLF. Actually, I do want to see if she notices something else. So hang on just one second.
You got it.
She actually, her attention turns immediately to Stormrider. Oh, hello, child of Gaia. You'll be extra tasty. So she seems to have gotten her attention diverted by Stormrider.
Ew.
All right. Does she
And
have
she is
that?
waving that crazy, vicious sword around, by the way.
She does have that sword in her hand. Okay.
And it's almost anime ridiculous. It's like one of those, you almost expect to see somebody using it. It's very medieval looking as opposed to like the giant fly blade, but it's like she's holding it one hand, but you'd imagine an ogre could two-hand this thing.
All right.
What material is the hilt?
So
Ancient evil metal.
Evil metal.
I
Evil metal.
am going to try to shoot the sword out of her hand. And at the same time as I do that, I declare myself Patrol Officer Ethel Uldal from the Neridian Patrol Corps. Cease and desist all actions here and stand down, you smoky B-word.
So here's the thing. You just gave up a perfect ambush attack effectively by doing that, which I imagine is something that goes to her flaws.
By the book, yep.
Take a resolve for that, because you would have totally gotten a bonus on this otherwise, because she would simply not have known that you were doing it, but you revealed yourself, so you lost the bonus. Take a resolve for that.
I have to reveal myself. I'm an officer of the law.
And there you go. It's perfectly reasonable. All right, so you are attempting to blow this thing out of her hand. Did we decide we're going to go with calling it combat tactics now? Or combat
let's keep it static for now. Let's stick with what we have for now, and then we'll go from there. So it's a strategic attack, try to disarm her is what I'm going.
Okay, you're doing strategic attack with the intent of making her drop that weapon. So that's going to be your shooting. I'm actually going to say this is really a matter of whether she can hold on to it or not. So she's going to resist it with her might.
All right.
You could totally spend an adversity.
I probably am going to, because holy crap, that was awful. That was abso-freaking-lutely awful.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So
I got 10 successes, baby.
because I have 4 players, I am spending one of my adversity to re-roll that again. You know how many?
10.
What?
10.
No. No.
Mhm.
You know what? I'm going to... Ooh, no. Yeah, I'm going to spend...
2 out of your 4, really?
I'm going to spend another one.
You know
just
what? I'm going to let you.
Yeah, of course you are. You're not running the game.
Oh, look at you.
Stop.
Bless his heart.
Get your eyes off my dice.
Oh, bless your little heart for trying.
Oh my God! 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 2 net successes over her.
Oh, only 2? I may spend a point of true resolve to roll some more. Let me ask you this: is 2 enough to knock the sword out of her hand?
I'm trying to bring off the top of my head, but I don't think so. I think you're going to need 3 net to get.
All right, let's see. I got 4 resolve. Let's start cooking.
Okay.
That's 2 more successes right there.
Oh, for crying out loud. So she's putting
there it is, sitting right there.
putting down. So you fire. And the what I have in my head, you tell me if you like this or not. Is just like multiple shots, blam, 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 blam. And the first one almost loses it, and then you like focus even more, and it goes flying away.
Nice.
So the sword, there's like a slow motion. She's like, no! As the sword flies over, and ka-ching! It like buries itself in some stone column, and she turns around looking down at what was Granny McStuffins, and now she's got just absolute vicious hate. Flaming darkness and flames on the side of her face. Okay, anyway, so Madeline Kahn would be proud. All right, so yeah, you blow that sword away. Now she's still floating down, and she does seem like she still has some powers, but that sword, and she looks torn between attacking you and going and getting the sword, and it is in fact her turn. So she does both. She's flying over to try to grab the sword and pull it out of the stone thing. She does turn around and blast an evil, necromantic blast at you out of her omni power. So she was flying in. So she will only get 11 dice, which she would only get 11 dice because she was flying in, but she's multi-action, so she's down to 9 dice. So she is trying to, splitting her attention between trying to go and get her sword. And by the way, she will not have the sword this round because you totally earned the right for not to have it at all, but she's going to be over at it trying to pull it out of the column.
One of my colleagues is going to take the sword at this point, as long as it's out of her grip.
So she blasts you. Whoops.
A lot.
2, 4, 5, 6, 8. She managed to get 8 successes against you. What did you use for defense, by the way?
My Neridian armored vest.
Okay.
8 successes, baby.
Bangarang.
All right. So the vest holds up, even though it frosts over from the coldness of that dark energy, and you even feel it down to your soul slightly. It's very, very disturbing.
There's a shiver that runs through my sort of tentacle hair, like.
Hold on. Does movement count as an action? No, movement never counts as an action. As long as it's within reason of your movement power, it's just part of getting to go on a page. There's some situations where like there's chases and stuff like that where relative movement is important, but otherwise, any decent movement power within a normal comic book space, you can probably get around with no problem at all. Flight would not be an action. Ensnare is an action. So yeah,
It'd only be the one though.
right, correct. All right, that being the case, we now have Talon. You're up.
I think I just foreshadowed what I was doing. Taking
Okay.
flight and trying to ensnare that sword.
Yes!
You're going to ensnare the sword. The sword has an active defense of 0. So roll your ensnare.
Well, since I have 10D ensnare with the capture pro,
Yes!
I think I am actually just going to take the auto success. So 5 successes.
Every 2 dice becomes an auto success. 5 dice and capture means you're going to whoop, pull it right back to you. You now have a really horrific, scary, evil sword in your containment at this time. So
Got the Titsaiga.
you have that. She's like, as it flies past her, she was reaching for it. No! She's
As I go flying by, excuse me, living dead girl, I have something to grab.
She is very, very unhappy with you. And since that was like the best snappy banter of the game so far, take a resolve for that. Stormrider, you are up.
Is she still flying?
Yes.
Fantastic. That's my action.
Okay, that looks extremely...
Giant wind. Dude!
Okay.
Wind gust.
Wind. Oh, so you're going to try to blow her up against blow her like through the wall or something? Or all right.
I totally got it there, Stormrider.
Thanks.
All right, so you're just wind gusting her.
Mm-hmm.
She does not have that awesome armor value
She doesn't.
because you blew the sword away from her. So she will have to hurry up and throw her sorcery up to try to block this. She was already
But it's
flying.
kinetic energy. So even if I push the... I'm asking for
This
clarification.
Science is not a thing here. She is throwing up a defensive spell.
Yes, sir.
So she was 12 die in her omnipower. She already used it for flight. Then she used it for a blast. So now she's down to 10 dice to try to defend herself. So she's just throwing up. Basically, what she's throwing up is a counter wind.
Okay.
And holy crap! What is wrong with my dice today? This is just
fine.
awful. What'd you get?
7.
Oh, I got 5, but she will definitely take 2 health off of that.
Okay.
She does, in fact, go slamming up against the wall, and actually, she does get blasted out a window, and gets messed up with glass shards, and she's screaming outside.
Did you think you would take a child of Gaia that easily?
Ah! She screams incoherently in response.
Oh, look at her snappy banter.
That was
That was her snappy banter.
that was her snappy banter. All right, so the true groups of zombies that DARKWOLF attacked are going to attack DARKWOLF again. Siren, some of the very well-dressed zombies, well, actually, no, those are all the well-dressed zombies. The Roman zombies come, one of the groups of the Roman zombies comes out of the dock area and is going to come after you. Talon, you're flying around. They really don't have a whole lot they can do where you're concerned. But that's okay. So 2 of the other groups of zombies, one of the groups of 8 zombies, the ones that actually look like Egyptian tomb workers, they actually move into the area that DARKWOLF had been inspecting earlier and start tearing things open and ripping through stuff. They seem to have we lost Brett for a second. Hopefully he'll come back soon. They seem to be tearing stuff over. There's another group of zombies. They're actually dressed like World War I soldiers. They came in from yet another one of the wings. They've actually gone into the dock area to start ripping open crates and stuff like that. So some of the zombies are not attacking. Some of them are. They look like they're doing something. They're searching for something, obviously, but they're doing so in as violent a way possible. I mean, they're shredding and tearing stuff up. So that being the case, DARKWOLF, you've got 2 groups of zombies trying to take you out. They are both big enough to have the very solid gang up bonus and abilities. So you need to defend yourself twice, as the first group of zombies is rolling 10 dice, and then the second group of zombies is rolling 10 dice. Oh, that first group of zombies really wants to hurt you, DARKWOLF. I mean, they really want to hurt you. Yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Can they beat a 7?
11 over 7 means you just took 4 health.
Your back just got hit.
All right.
And here comes the second attack. Unless you want to spend any resolve on that.
No, I've got plans for the resolve. Just keep going.
Ooh. Oh my god.
We may have our first casualty. These zombies are determined to do bad things to you.
I've got an 8.
2 more points of damage get through.
Ow.
So you guys are seeing DARKWOLF get torn up by some zombies. Siren, a group of 8 zombies is jumping all over you.
The ones dressed in ancient garb?
Yeah.
The ones that were roaming around the halls?
Yes. They're coming at you with gladiuses and tridents and all kinds of cool stuff. So defend yourself. Apparently, my minions have decided they're tired of being everybody's, toys, and they want to throw them.
Ooh.
7 successes on that attack.
Yeah, we're gonna re-roll my 2.
Okay.
Yeah, you are.
One, 2, 3, 4. So I take 3.
All right. So you get hacked up pretty bad by some of these zombies. So DARKWOLF and Siren are obviously in some trouble against Reliquary zombies.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
But we come back around to the top of the page. DARKWOLF, it is your turn.
Now you guys are making me mad. All right, let's see if we can push it a little further. Instead of 2 attacks, I'm going to go for 3. So that's minus
Oh my God.
4.
Yeah? Now, do you want to use the maneuver called All Out? That would offset the penalty by giving you another +2 dice for your attacks, but it does mean you're half dice for any defense later.
You just finished my sentence for me. That's exactly what I want to do.
All right, so you are doing 3 attacks, but you're going all out, so you're still a net -2. Are you just attacking the 2 groups of zombies, or are you planning on that 3rd attack going someplace else?
Just the 2. I'm going to minimize what's in my corner of
Okay,
the
well, I'm
room.
going to go ahead and make this judgment for you. I know that DARKWOLF has some decent movement. If you manage to take out both groups of zombies somehow with your first 2 attacks, I will let you jump on the group that's on Siren as your 3rd attack if you manage to get through.
Appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Let's see how crappy I roll.
First group.
Dishing out some pain here. Starting off with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And down goes one group of zombies completely. You absolutely shred them. All right, let's see how you do.
Second roll. 7, 8.
Congratulations. That's another group of zombies you just took out. So do you want to jump on the Siren group?
I got it covered. Don't worry.
Or do you want to go after one of the groups? Or do you want to leap out the window and go jump on Reliquary?
Let's do that. If he's got the other group handled, I'll take on Reliquary.
Okay.
See what I can dish out for
All right,
her.
so you are still you're attacking. You're still -2 dice because it's a third attack on the three attack round. She will have to throw up a defensive spell because once again she doesn't have the defense of that sword helping her.
Darn the luck.
I've got an 8 for her.
Ooh. She will, as you leap at her, she will catch you in a cold necromantic hand and shove you back through the hole. And actually, just for style purposes, she floats in after you, sends you tumbling. How dare you! You will never touch me! No one will ever touch me again! She screams. She rolled really, really freaking well on her defense. That brings us to Siren.
Once again, DARKWOLF gets
What?
the cold shoulder.
What was that?
I said once again, DARKWOLF gets the cold shoulder.
There it is.
Wow.
DARKWOLF gets a resolve for that because that was pretty good. All right, Siren,
Hey,
you're
I'm
up.
trying.
Okay,
I'm
so
trying.
while Siren is a space cop, she's also strong as all get out. She can lift 10 tons. So if I have to spend a point of resolve for this, I will spend it. But I'm assuming since we're in a museum, they've got those stands with like the chains in between them, maybe covered in like velvet or whatever, like the velvet ropes with the stands and so on. Do I have to spend a resolve for this, or are those things there?
No, those things are every freaking where here.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
So what Siren's going to do, since she's surrounded by these zombies or whatever, and this I may have to spend a resolve for, and that's fine. I'm going to take those two things and basically just swing them around, trying to get all of the zombies. So in other words, I'm trying to use this thing to make an area attack. I'm grabbing them as an improvised weapon and then trying to swing them around in an area attacky kind of fashion.
So this is Sean style gaming. So what basically that comes down to is I would give you a bonus resolve because it's a really great idea, but it would cost resolve to kind of stunt it. So we're just going to wash that out.
Yep.
And do it.
And so I have an effective area attack. Now, do I get a bonus because of the fact that I'm armed with a weapon, even though it's not going to last very long, but all I need it to last is one shot?
The bonus is it's an area effect attack.
Fair. All right.
In other words, basically, instead of the +2 dice I would give you for using a cool weapon, we're converting that to the area pro.
Take it. Tell me how I did, because I may re-roll this. I rolled a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
5 minus 2 is 3 times 2 would be 6, which means there would be 2 zombies still left.
Hang on a minute. There we go. 1 more success. Doubled is 2 more successes.
All those zombies go flying. There's Roman zombie bits going everywhere.
All right.
All right. So that was Siren. Reliquary at this time, screaming with madness, flies dead on towards Talon. It's clear her hand is covered in some sort of horrible, evil-looking energy, and she just tries to plunge this into your chest. This is called life drain. So you will need an active defense, or you need to defend with an active defense, or your toughness against this.
My active defense would probably be my armor, correct?
Nope, that's passive.
Oh, that is passive?
Yeah, that's active is moving out of the way, or
can I use my flight to basically dodge her?
Flight is not normally an active defense. You could stunt it to be an active defense. What is your agility?
My agility is 60.
And do you have evasion?
I do not have evasion. But I would stunt flight to basically do a barrel roll.
Len, what were you saying?
Or if he doesn't all out, you could use a movement power as a defense if you all out. In other words, if you forego your next action, if you're like, yeah, bye, you can use flight as a defense.
I'm more worried about her being able to get back the sword, so I'd rather have an ability to do something to move.
You're gonna spend a resolve to stunt your flight, which is how many dice?
10 dice.
All right, so you're stunting that to become evasion.
Oh, sorry, 9 dice. 9 dice.
So you're stunting that to become effectively 9 dice of evasion. Now, Len still has a good point. If you go all out, you'll get plus 2 more dice. It does mean you give up your next action, but it means you're getting 11 dice versus the 12 she's about to hit you with.
And you don't have to spend resolve.
I had a free one for calling her living dead girl, so I'll do that. I want to have an action.
Okay. By the way, Len, I think you're calling on an old rule that doesn't exist anymore.
No, it's in there. I promise.
That was a 6.
Mm-hmm. That's an 11.
Mine is an evil laugh.
I was showing. That's just my 6s.
Okay.
So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Dang. All right, you know what? This is your scene. Describe this as this horrible, and you feel it go right past you. You feel it like clawing at your very soul, but it doesn't quite get you. What's the scene look like?
We're going to pull out a little Matrix bullet time as I basically just flap my wings, and as it passes over, just kind of flap, tuck them down, and barrel roll out of it to get out of her line of fire. Or was it her physically coming to plunge through?
No, it's her physically reaching to hit you with this life drain touch.
Then I'm actually going to do that same thing, but use my feet to kick off of her to boost myself away.
And you very successfully do that, but she's right there, and it is your turn.
My strike, it's my talons. That's up close, correct?
Yeah.
Well, I am going to just use my flight again and try to put some distance between me because I don't want her getting the sword. So I'm going to do a little slalom course through some of the pillars to, serpentine.
Interesting. Honestly, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to say you're sacrificing your action to give yourself plus 3 dice on any roll to defend against her grabbing the sword from you.
Okay.
I'm going to give you that. So Len is calling for a team attack on the next page, everyone. Just so as you know, so the viewers at home understand what that means is it's a teamwork thing so that a team of people can more effectively take down a very strong main villain or a very strong, tough opponent. So she came at you with that death touch, and you flew away. So you're not taking your action this round to an attack or anything like that. So again, if it comes around that she tries to take it from you, you're going to get plus 3 dice on any roll to resist her taking it from you next time. So that brings us to Stormrider.
I would like to deal with the zombies that are ripping through looking for stuff.
Okay.
Because I don't know whether or not Reliquary has somebody else that we haven't seen yet helping her that maybe could take a handoff from the zombies if they find what they're looking for. So, chain lightning on the zombies.
So you want to hit both groups of zombies then?
Correct.
Okay. So your Stormrider's EC is normally 12 dice. Does it have the area already built into it?
It does.
All right. Then, yeah, you can hit both groups of zombies with that chain lightning. No problem at all. And currently, since none of them are in any areas that where heroes are, that's going to work out just fine for you.
Thank you.
All right. And, of course, it's area, which is going to really suck for the families.
It is.
All right. Talk to me, Goose.
10.
Well, there's a whole bunch of fried zombies.
I didn't think.
16 zombies go. It's like really grotesque confetti, for all intents and purposes.
I don't want to clean that up.
So the zombies would go now, except there aren't any left. So I'm just going to cross those off.
See, look, it's a party wherever I am.
So we come back to the top of the third page. DARKWOLF, are you holding for the team? Are you holding for the team attack? Or
Hold
right.
action.
STORMRIDER, obviously you called for it, so you're holding.
I'm holding for the team attack.
Reliquary really, really, really wants her sword back. So she is performing a grab maneuver to try to take the sword. So you would either use might with +3 dice or an active defense with +3 dice to try to prevent this from happening.
I'm going to use might and slap her hand away, or try to slap her hand away, and we'll see if it works if I do my witty banter after.
All right. She's putting all of she's got into this.
I'm going to spend a point of resolve to add a die because I'm a little worried.
Ne touche pas.
Why don't you roll first and see what you get before you make that decision? You can call it at any time.
I have 3 left after the point spent, so I'm okay.
I think I'm spending adversity on this. Maybe not.
Yes, burn your adversity, burn it.
Yeah, maybe not. 9.
It would be good if it wasn't for my 11.
You could spend an adversity.
I am,
And
in fact, spending
Are you?
adversity.
Okay.
I'm spending adversity to reroll. If she continues to grasp that, what? Never mind. Just
so I slap at her hand and say, "You need to learn how to share." And I'm flying still.
she's like, I mean, her hair is doing this crazy, almost anime weird thing, and you feel death literally coming out of her eyes at you. It is a really terrifying concept. Talon, I assume you're going to actually hold to the end of the round.
Yep.
And that brings us to STORMRIDER, which brings us to the end of the page. So, let's start with DARKWOLF. What is the nature of the attack you're launching for the teamwork part?
Kicks and claws.
Kicks and claws.
That's it.
Siren.
The long and short is, as DARKWOLF sort of hits her one way, I'm standing back just a bit. Whenever I see an attack knock her back one way, I'm shooting her from the other direction. So literally kind of ping pong her because I know she's tough as heck.
And Talon.
Well, I would try to use my ensnare capture to hold her in place so she's easier to hit by everybody.
All right, then even though it's happening as a teamwork attack, we'll resolve your attack first.
Okay.
Because that will matter. And you'll still get the +2 dice like everybody else. And what is STORMRIDER doing?
It's going to depend on whether or not the ensnare works, because if his does not work, I will use wind control to keep her in place as an ensnare, essentially. If not, lightning.
All right. That being the case, you guys are coordinating. You can totally do this. We'll do Talon first, then STORMRIDER. Or the Talon first. If he misses, then STORMRIDER. If he does succeed, then STORMRIDER, SIREN, and DARKWOLF can all just roll their attacks at the same time, because it won't matter at that point. So roll +2 dice with the option to spend a resolve to make your 6s explode. And since you are trying to ensnare her, she would use an active defense. She was using her strength, so she's just going to use her sorcery to try to disrupt this. She's casting out basically necromantic energy to disintegrate the net.
It's not a net. It's actually me grasping her with the talons.
Okay, well then she will. Well, in that case, what she'll be doing is some sort of a very ice cold necromantic field that would drive your talons away. Yeah, that's.
Do you have any adversity left?
Shush.
I know I have resolve, so.
I got 8.
I'm a helping helper.
I got 10. Now, what did you say about being able to let 6s explode? Or do I not need to do that?
Well, you can spend a resolve, and any 6s you roll them again to see if you get any more successes.
Yeah. You only live once. I had 3 6s.
Okay.
And I got another 6 and a 2 and a 4.
Oh my God! So those add 3 more successes.
4 with the 6, right?
Yes, they rolled. So you have an add of 6 successes over her,
And
and
reroll
the 6. Reroll at 6. It's 6 again. 8 net successes. Keep going. 10.
Do you see all these 6s?
Keep going.
Oh, do it again!
I'm not lying here.
All right, we're gonna stop. She's completely defeated in terms of she is fully ensnared by your ensnaring. You have her 100%. You have her for the rest of the scene unless she spends that last adversity to break out. But the 3 of you now may all do your attacks. She cannot use an active defense, so all she has. Okay, guys, I don't know that there's even a reason to roll because she doesn't have the sword. You took that away from her. All she has is toughness of 12D, which since none of these are pummeling attacks, she'd only get to roll 6 dice against any of them. So at this point, rolling is almost superfluous. Unless anybody's really feeling it. It sounds to me like Len's feeling it.
No, just wanted to let you know that I have 9 dice plus 2 for the team attack is 11, plus 2 for an all-out attack is 13.
So that'd be 7 net successes. Yeah, so guys, I'm just going to go ahead and with 3 minutes to go on this one, I think it's very fair to say Talon came in, grabbed her, pinned her up above him, like, maybe inverted fly or whatever, up against a column, lightning, the gun blast, and then DARKWOLF is like, well, bam! Just grabs her, and she is out, completely defeated. If there had been any zombies left, they would all be. Actually, as soon as you take her out, the bits and pieces of the zombies all kind of turn to dust, and just kind of there's just this icky kind of dust there. You will find very near, like the severed arm of one of the zombies, there is a small little tiny leather bound book, except the leather looks like it might be skin. And you'll eventually be able to find out that the book was, based for all intents and purposes, it was a ritual to summon something called RAVAGER. Which, by the way, I had the stats for the RAVAGER, and had the zombies found it, or had you not taken her sword from her, she would have totally gone for it, and you guys would have had the Ravager to fight as well. But taking the sword from her at the very beginning completely switched all that off. So that was well done.
Sorry, Sean.
Whatever. Shut up, Brett. I mean, thank you very much for your support, Brett, and we love you. Yeah, that's what I meant. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw, there was a message that came in while we were playing.
A backer.
That we had a brand new backer just as we were going. And we are at 26,116 out of our 28,000 goal with 367 backers. We are in fantastic shape. So we'll do a quick go around, and then we'll call it. Although actually, somebody sent a selfie. Michael Walsh sent us a selfie. Very fun. So real quick, Gregory, any comments, thoughts? How do you feel that this one went?
As usual, I'm still learning the system. It's just amazing to me. There's so many combat options, and you don't like fill the book with just like multiple choices. Everything's just pretty straightforward. If I just knew the system better, I'm pretty sure that it would flow a lot more seamlessly. But just as usual, guys, you guys did a bang-up job putting this together.
Thank you very, very kindly. Brett, comments, questions, thoughts?
I love making your life a living hell.
I I'm so grateful to provide that service for you.
It is a beautiful stress relief for me, so I thank you for that.
That's great. Thanks, Brett. But okay, cool. Now,
No, I think that
I'm running for you, dude. I really do. You're very creative. I love what you bring to the table.
I love that team attack effect. That is huge. I mean, it's adding that whole 4-color portion of set them up, knock them down, and that's awesome. Good job, Lynn.
Yeah.
Good job, Sean.
That, yeah.
Jennifer, comments, thoughts?
Well, the fact that he, has figured out the part of the system where making your life hell is funny means that he belongs, and that's nice.
Thanks a lot, Jen. I'm so grateful to you. I'm so glad you could be here tonight. Actually, I really am. I love how she plays Stormrider actually a lot. Len, how do you feel getting the chance to play tonight?
I always like to play because I'm usually running. So
Same here.
a lot of fun, and thank you. Whenever I see people, I'm going to get choked up, so I'm not going to talk too much. Whenever I see people playing and enjoying something I've written, it impacts me deeply. So I just want to say thank you, and I think I'm going to stop right there.
You know what? Let's do that.
We might actually make some more money if Lynn starts crying.
No.
I mean, I want blubbery, really, snot, tears, and everything.
Make it a stretch
That's just not
goal.
appropriate. Yeah.
Although, to be fair, tune back into the 24-hour, and that might happen.
You'll see me crying by that point. There's no doubt about it.
The 3 a.m. loopy, it's a very real
If
possibility.
you've ever seen me at 3 a.m. during a 24-hour
Yes, I
countdown, she has. All right, guys. On that, love you all. Thank you so much for that. We're doing fantastic. We'll see you guys online. We'll see you for the next ones. And as always, peace out. And remember,
the world needs
The world
heroes.
needs heroes.
heroes.
World needs heroes.
Thanks, Lynn.
Thank you.